Hi, I'm Antoinette, and you're watching Food with the Tude. And today we're going to be making red lentil curry with brown rice. So before I get started on my curry, I'm going to show you how I make my rice. I've already got 2 cups of brown rice in here and 4 cups of water. So for every 1 cup of rice, you put 2 cups of water. And to season it, I'm going to put a tablespoon of chicken style seasoning. Put your tablespoon of chicken style seasoning in there. And you're going to put it on high heat and bring it to a boil. So you're going to bring it to a boil, and then once it starts to boil, you're going to turn it down to low, cover it, and then just let it cook until it's done. I'm going to stir my chicken style seasoning in there. Okay, now I'm about to start on the curry. So, I have 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil on medium heat. It's already warm. And I want to add small onion that I've already diced. You can see, put that in there. Onion. Dice. It doesn't have to be really small, it doesn't have to be really big, however you prefer. Okay. That smells yummy. Okay. Just gonna put that in there. Get a shot of that. What you're going to do is you're going to let it brown a little bit. Work. So you just stir fry your onions. And you're going to put it over medium heat. Probably about 5 minutes or so. When you start to see them to brown, then you know they're almost ready. Okay, while I'm waiting for that to brown, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next. So, when this starts to brown, you're going to add your garlic and your other spices in there. I already have my garlic and my ginger miced up in here. And I'm going to add some Himalayan salt, some turmeric, some coriander, and cumin. So we're just waiting for our onions to brown. Very nice. I'm going to get my cilantro ready. This is fresh ginger root. If you don't have fresh ginger, you can use dried ginger. If you don't have fresh garlic, you can also use garlic powder, but nothing's better than the real thing. They're almost ready. Smell smells good. I love the way onions smell when they're cooking. Our rice is almost full. It's getting there. Okay. So the best thing about using brown rice instead of white rice is that it has a lot of antioxidants and all that good stuff and vitamins that white rice doesn't have in it while it's being enriched. Okay, they're starting to brown. So now that our onions are starting to brown, we're going to add in our garlic and fresh ginger. I'll put that in there and stir it in so it can brown with it. It smells even yummier. Probably gonna let that cook for 2 minutes together. Now I'm going to add your spices. I'm going to take a teaspoon of turmeric. I'm going to add a teaspoon of your cumin and coriander in there. That smells so good. Add a teaspoon of salt. So you're gonna put a teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of turmeric, and a teaspoon of cumin and coriander. And you're gonna stir that like that. Brown a little bit. Probably let that sit for another 2 minutes. Okay. Gonna have to now you're just going to stir until it softens and very fragrant. You should be able to smell it around the whole house. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a cup of our red lentils. Look how beautiful those are. 1 cup of red lentils. You're just going to coat it in the spices like so. Make sure it's all covered. That is so colorful. Crazy. Give that a few more minutes to onions get a little brown. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a 14-ounce can of coconut milk. Just going to slowly pour it in there. You might need to turn the heat down a little bit. gonna put the rest of it in there. I love the way coconut smells. And the combination of all the coconut and spices and the onions just makes a beautiful aroma. Let that bubble a little bit. I'm just going to tear my cilantro. So now that's bubbling, we're going to go get a cup of water. That's yummy. So I'm going to slowly pour in my water and use a spatula to go around the sides to get all the parts that stick to the pan. Don't want anything sticking. Stir it. Let that bubble for a minute or two. Now in this recipe, cilantro is optional. Because cilantro is a really, really strong herb. And not a lot of people like it. I love it, but so cilantro is optional. You don't have to put it in there if you don't want to. I've made this recipe with and without it. And it tastes fine with it. And it tastes fine without it. So it's just like a personal preference. If you don't want to put it in there, you can always use it as a garnish. Now you're going to slowly turn up the heat. The secret is to let it cook slowly. You want the lentils to be really soft. You don't want them to be smushy. So let them cook slowly. Don't try to rush it. So you're going to let it cook for about 15 to 25, 30 minutes. And once it's cooked all the way, you're going to take it off and let it stand for a good 5 minutes. And you just season it with salt, to your tasting. Or you might just think it's fine already. That's up to you. Could cover it too, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna let you see it cook. That will cover it for now. Then we're gonna cover it up. So this is what it's supposed to look like. Got your onions in there. Got your red lentils, your cumin, coriander, garlic, all that good stuff. Coconut milk. You see it starting to bubble. Cover it. Top. We'll come back and see how it is when it's done. Alright, I'm back. And I've added the cilantro in there. And I let it sit for 5 minutes and it's done. This is the finished product. It smells so good. I wish you could smell this. It smells so good. The best thing about this recipe is even though you put so many different flavors and coconut and everything, it all blends together and creates this perfect flavor. Like, you don't have too much coconut milk or too much garlic. It just all blends together and makes this perfect flavor. So if you don't like coconut milk, like, I'm not going to try that recipe because I don't like coconut milk. But it all blends in there and it makes this really awesome flavor. So I've added, like I said, I added the cilantro and I let it sit for 5 minutes. If you are going to add cilantro, you would add a 1/4 cup in there and let it sit for 5 minutes. So I haven't added a 1/4 cup in here. So and I'm going to plate it. See, that looks so yummy. Here's our brown rice. That. The chicken style seasoning is giving it a lot of flavor. And brown rice has its own flavor too. It's really good. Put this on there like that. Man, does that smell good. And you can tell when it's done because you can see like the consistency is going to be really thick. The beans are going to be really tender, not going to be really mushy like. So you still have some structure in there. You can see our green. You can smell our spices. That just looks very, very yummy. Can I get a taster to come up and taste this? Our special taster. Tell us how we did.
I don't mind being the special taster.
Could you taste this and tell me how I did?
Try with the rice here too.
The rice. It's hot.
Mmm. Mmm.
Good, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You're not just saying that because you're my dad, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So what is it? What do you have to say about this dish here? The beans. Well, the lentils. The lentils.
The lentils are very flavorful.
Not bland.
Not bland. It just
explodes in your mouth.
Explodes in your mouth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The flavors just explode in your mouth. You don't taste like.
And even the rice has its own little personality too.
Yep. Food with an attitude right there.
You season it very
this
well.
Food has a lot of attitude.
A lot of attitude, I must say. Try it. You'll love it. Trust me.
And if you like spices, you can put a little cayenne pepper in there too. That'll give it even more of a kick. But the ginger is what really helps give it that attitude.
I like the attitude.
I like Alright, I hope you guys tune in later for more food with the Tude. Bye.
Bye-bye.